Now let's say that every team doubles their week one score. So instead of simply getting one additional touchdown and extra point, let's say every team has double the score that they originally had. So to do that, we're just going to take the values in list 1, multiply by 2, and we'll store that into list 3. So right now I'm on the graphing screen, so I'm going to press second mode. That's the quit option to go to the home screen. Second one gives me list 1. I will multiply by 2 to double all of those scores, and I'm going to store it into list 3. So I'm interested in what's the impact on the mean and the median? What's the impact on those measures of center and the measures of spread when we double those values? So let's run one variable statistics then on list 3, and we'll summarize the outcomes here. So again, from the home screen, I'll press Stat. I'll go to Calculate. And for one variable statistics, I need to press second 3 in order to specify list 3. Highlight Calculate and press Enter. So this time, the mean is 46.4. We'll round that to the nearest tenth just to make looking for patterns easier. 46.4. Scroll down to find the median. So the median is 47. The standard deviation I can see is 19.06, so we'll call that 19.1. The range, so to calculate the range, I need the maximum and the minimum. That's 98 and 4, so that difference is 94. And the IQR is 56 minus 34, so that is 22, the difference between Q3 and Q1. And so now our job is to observe, what is multiplication? What has multiplication done to the measures of center and to the measures of spread? But what I want to compare them to are the original data. So here are the original data in list 1. And this time I want to compare those values to what we have now in list 3. Again, we've multiplied by 2. All of the values have been doubled. Well, the new mean is 46.4. The old mean was 23.2. So think about, what would you do to 23.2 to make 46.4? So same thing. Median was 23.5, 23.5. Now we've got 47. They've both been doubled. So double 23.2 is 46.4. Double 23.5, double the 23 is 46, and double a half is 1. 46 and 1 is 47. But this time, notice what's happened to the measures of spread. So the IQR, the old IQR was 11. Here's the new one. The old range, 47. Here's the new one. The old standard deviation, 9.5. Here's the new one. So the measures of spread have also been doubled. Double the 11 makes our new IQR of 22. Double the 47 makes our new range of 94. The standard deviation, double the 9 is 18. Double the 0.5, that's another 1, so that makes 19. The reason it's 19.1 is because we rounded these values. So the standard deviation is in fact exactly doubled. So notice that multiplying all data values by the same amount, it multiplies both the measures of center and spread by that amount. So I'm going to put down center and spread. But I want you to realize that it's not just the measures of center, but it's also the measures of position. So for instance, the minimum has been doubled. The maximum has been doubled. Q1 has been doubled. Q3 has been doubled, just like the median was doubled. There's another way to think about it. So if you want to observe why this has happened, let's graph all 3 of the box and whisker plots simultaneously. So we're going to use this same window. So let's go to your calculator. So I want to graph all of the plots simultaneously. So if you press second y equals, we've already set up plot number 1. Plot number 2 is set up using list 2. So let's go down to plot number 3 and let's turn it on. press the down arrow, and again, we're going to specify the box and whisker plot option. We cycle through all 6 of these options by pressing the right and left arrows. So I want to highlight this option here. It is the option that makes your box and whisker plot, but also checks for outliers. The only difference between the first and the second box and whisker plot option on the calculator is this one does not check for outliers. Now, a reason why you might use this one, maybe you are in a class where for some reason you want to consider outliers by using some different criterion. So this here uses the typical criterion of Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. But if you're going to define outliers in a different way, maybe you don't want the calculator to look for outliers for you. Maybe you want to just plot the plot and look for them yourself. So be it. So let's specify then this as list 3. We want to look at what happens when we double all of the points. The same window will work fine. So if you press graph, you can see all of the box and whisker plots simultaneously. So we're comparing the first plot and the third plot. So notice you can see all of the doubling. You can see the minimum has been doubled. You can see that the value of the maximum, it's been doubled. Look, here's the old median. We doubled that also. Q1 was doubled. Q3 was doubled. We can see that, but then you can also see the doubling of the IQR. So here, you can trace box and whisker plots. If I press the trace button, notice there's a little cursor right here, and it even says down here, minimum of 2. And plot 1, P1 stands for plot 1, we're looking at list 1. So if you press the arrow keys, it will give you the 5-number summary at the bottom. There's Q1, there's the median, there's Q3. There is the end of the whisker, but it's not the maximum. Here's the maximum, which is the outlier. So notice here, 28, take away 17, there's the 11. Well, if you press the down arrow, you can go to plot number 3 is list 3. We can see there's the doubling of Q1. It's now at 34. It was at 17. It's been doubled to 34. So here's Q3 at 56. It used to be 28. Now it's 56. But multiplying changes the positions of Q1 and Q3 relative to each other. That's why the IQR has also been doubled. And you can see that here in the screen. Here is the old IQR of 11. Here is the new IQR of 22. So bottom line, what's happened then, this is our original data. A transformation that involves addition or subtraction, all that does is changes measures of center. That changed, for instance, the mean and median. It did not change our measures of spread. So multiplication, however, affects both. So doubling the scores doubled the mean and the median. In fact, it doubles all of the measures of center, the measures of position also. So also then our measures of spread were doubled. Multiplying affects both center and measures of position, whereas adding or subtracting, those are just horizontal shifts. Those only affect measures of position, not measures of spread.